Good morning. Thank you so much for
Oh,
having
it's such a pleasure having you on the
Same
program.
to you. Thank you.
I mean, Baba Buntu, let's talk about, you and I have been having this conversation over the years
yes.
about Black History Month. Is this message coming through?
It is increasingly, but I must say that I'm disturbed and alarmed by the ignorance about African history that is still out there. So there's definitely a need for African history, but what I'm very... what fills me with joy is that a lot of young people are responding, and as you rightly pointed out, this tour is specifically targeting young people. And you know, the notion is that young people don't really care about history, especially if they don't have to read it, if they don't have it as a subject. But it's actually not true, because if we really understand history, it's about who am I? And I think that's a question that all of us really want to find an answer to.
There's a clip that I saw of a very famous actor who said, why should there be Black History Month when there's no White History Month? Yeah. What do you say to that?
No, I think it's a valid question. I think it's offensive in itself that we should put aside 1 month to look at Black history. I mean, especially since we also know that civilization started on this continent. We have given so many gifts to the world that we haven't really been accredited for. So it is offensive in one way, but I think the reason why we do it is not that we agree that it's okay to only put aside 1 month. It should be 12, maybe even 13. We should have an extra month. But we need to also get there, and I think that's what Black History Month helps us to do, to remind ourselves that we have an incredible history that needs to be told, and that actually belongs to the world.
And why should I be proud of Africa?
You know, it's a very good question. We started this tour in Orange Farm yesterday, and it was incredible to see how young people came out with questions around that. Why should I be proud? Especially if everything that I can be proud of happened like 1,000 years ago. What is it that I should be proud of now? And I think what the point of this tour is to say that when we look at the situation of Africa now, which sometimes fills us with a lot of doubts, a lot of anger, a lot of thinking about how are we really going to get it right. We need to be able to draw inspiration from somewhere. And history is that inspiration that we can draw from. We have been incredibly great. We have been innovators of the most incredible things on this planet. So at least if we know that, we shouldn't be so intimidated by seeing the problems we are facing now, and it should give us an incentive to say that we can actually do this. We can change this. So I think that's why we need to be proud of ancient history, and also take pride in, I mean, there are pockets of greatness also happening as we speak. And I think we sometimes forget that. There are great young leaders. I mean, I wake up every single day to great young African people who are vibrant, who are working, who are on point, and that gives me hope.
Take us through the activities lined up for the month.
Okay, we're going to 10 different townships and universities. And what is interesting here is that as eBukhosini Solutions, over the years, we have created networks with people in many different areas. So it's actually us being invited. For instance, later today, we are going to Naledi, Soweto. Next week, we are going to Unisa, Sunnyside. We are also going to a few other provinces. And we are invited by young event managers who are saying we want our community to know about more about African history. So we're going to go to 10 different areas. We're going to engage, and it's not going to be a long, boring lecture. I think that's another thing that we have also, especially within academic circles, we have agreed that history must be boring, it must be
long.
Yeah, long. People must sleep. It must be. I don't know why we keep doing that. And actually, none of us actually enjoy it. So especially when we talk to young people, why should they even take any pride in something that is boring and seems irrelevant? So as the facilitator of the discussion, it is my job to make it dynamic, to make it vibrant, and to interact. I don't think I'm the full expert on anything. And I also find that a lot of young people out there, they also have vital information. So it's about sharing, it's about having a dialogue, it's about waking young people up to this notion of history and the legacies that they are actually descendants of.
How do you respond to a young person who says, but what does it do for me? You know, why am I supposed to do it? I mean, currently as it is, it's difficult to interest young people in a simple thing as politics, why it's important for them to vote, for instance. They don't find it interesting. Something as hard as Black history, for somebody like me who studied history, it's interesting. But for somebody who watches MTV the whole day, you know, why is it interesting?
You know, the first thing I would say is, if you are a young person saying that, I would say I understand you. I'm not going to criticize you. I'm not going to say you are stupid or irrelevant. I understand why you would think it's boring and irrelevant. So the question is really on me. Am I an interesting lecturer? Am I making sense when I talk to you? Can I help you to connect why you should even bother? Because you're busy trying to get a job. You're busy trying to understand who you are. You're facing a market that is so busy trying to exclude you. And I'm saying that on top of that, you should study something that happened 500 years ago. It doesn't make sense. So I think to me, the challenge is on me. How can I make you connect? And how I can make you connect is to say that you maybe walk around thinking that you come from a people that haven't really achieved much, and you think that some of the reasons why you struggle so much now is just inherent. As African people, we are supposed to be like this. I'm going to come and tell you that I don't think so. There's a different reality that we can draw from so that we can create solutions.
Baba Buntu, always such a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Baba Buntu is the Executive Director of eBukhosini Solutions, talking to us about Black History Month and the activities lined up for that. Well, let's take a break. We do our book interview with Sam Marshall after